If Can everybody hear me? It's 9 o'clock. I need everybody to start finding their way to a seat so we can get started, please. Okay, good morning, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to our annual meeting. For those that don't know me, my name's Tom Fox. I've been the president for the last 2 years here. The first thing... Thank you. The first thing we'd like to do is please stand and we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Our first order of business is to approve the minutes from last year's annual meeting. A copy has been placed on each table, and they've been posted on our website. So I hope you have had time to read them, and I will entertain a motion to approve those minutes. I have a motion to approve and a second. All in favor of approving the minutes from last year's annual meeting, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. I would like to introduce you to the board members for this past year. First, I'll ask them to stand up when they call their name. Jasper Riddle. Terry Schaefer, our treasurer. Elaine Wedgeworth, our board secretary. Jim Solomon. Gary Bills. Jimmy Goetz. Unfortunately, Sharon Heilman could not be here due to a death in her family. And Stan Mathis, our vice president. These 8 people have worked extremely hard for the last 12 months trying to improve the operations of our club. Over the past 2 years, we have faced fires, floods, drought, and a beetle infestation that has cost us hundreds of thousands of dollars. In addition to that, I wanted to highlight some of the accomplishments that we've done this past year. First and foremost, we ended the fiscal year with a surplus in cash. That was mostly due to the dues increase we passed last year, our debt restructuring, and controlling our capital expenditures. The second thing, we sold 4 or 5 club-owned houses, with one still on the market, but it is under contract. We consolidated all our debt into one long-term loan at a lower interest rate. Only Alto facilities are encumbered by that loan. Cocopelli, Outlaw, and La Junta are not encumbered by a loan. We engaged a new audit firm, COMD, that specializes in country clubs. We had used our previous firm for 5 years. We felt it was time for a change. And we also initiated the process to hire club benchmarking for a capital reserve study. That will help our future boards plan for capital spending. We also formed several ad hoc committees to handle the problems that we faced. One is our membership audit. Elaine Wedgeworth was our chair. She worked with our office staff to identify 600 membership problems that weren't quite correct, and they were able to resolve all of them. It was a tremendous job and a tremendous effort that took place. We formed a tree removal and insurance committee. Jim Solomon was chair of that. And Jim worked closely with Doug Allen, our Firewise coordinator, and he also worked with the insurance company to renew our insurance for this past year. We also formed a water usage and rights committee. Jimmy Goetz was chair of that. He met with the state engineer concerning applying for a combine and commingle permit so we can use all our water where we need it, when we need it. We decided, after talking to more experts on this, that we were probably going to apply for a change of use, a place of use change for Kokopelli water so we could use it in any of our irrigation systems. So hopefully that will secure more water for our golf courses. We also formed a house committee. Sharon Heilman was chair of that, and that was started to help set up dining options and decor at our clubhouses. And that worked well, very well, so we decided to make it a permanent house commission. Jasper Riddle is chair of that. We also formed a real estate advisory committee. Terry Schaefer was chair of that, and he worked with all our realtors to sell these homes and get them sold. And I'm also pleased to announce that for the first time in many, many years, our dues, without using initiation fees, will cash flow our operations. This is critical to sustain the financial stability of our club and ensure that we can operate even in a poor housing market, which we are in now. We have also hired a new controller, a professional, Waleed Jamal. Waleed, would you please stand? He's back there in the corner. And we hired a new general manager, Brian Cox. Brian? He is next on to address the membership. Thank you.
I look the same, don't I? I just happen to have the same tie and the same coat in my closet. Anyway, first I want to thank the board of directors for giving me the opportunity to be your general manager. I've worked at many clubs, and Alto Lakes Golf and Country Club is most certainly a wonderful place. Although I've only been here for 3 months, I have learned that it is a truly special membership, and the leadership staff is one of the best I have had the privilege of to be part of. I'd like to introduce some of them now. One of them you've met, Waleed. Can you stand up again? Abby Navarez, our hardworking assistant controller. She's in the back. Paula Waltress, our HR manager and AP specialist, is away for the weekend with her grandkids, so we wish her lots of fun. Glenn Denny, who maintains our wonderful golf courses. John Rogers, our director of golf. Romy Carr, which if you use the pool facilities, you'll see her running around. She's fabulous. She's our happy person. Bobby Luster, our maintenance manager and entertainer extraordinaire. Maggie Fitz over there counting ballots in the corner. Eric Simonson is our technology director, and he is one fascinating and hardworking individual, and he keeps this place going. Chef Damien over there in the corner. Craig Maldonado running around probably keeping things together I don't know, don't see him. Jeremy Moritz, our dining room manager in Alto at night. And then Frank Gonzalez, way out in the boondocks at Outlaw, keeping that place together. So. They're a great group. They are great. I'm starting to realize what you all realize, and thank you for having that team. But before I get started, I'd like to recognize our employees who celebrate the anniversaries. You have a lot of tenured employees here and a lot of famous and fabulous people. So what we do is we celebrate our employees every 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25 years. Although we recognize their anniversaries, we make it particularly special every 5th year. So celebrating our 5-year employees, we have Cecilia Ferrer. She's a server at Cocopelli, but she couldn't be here this morning. 5 years, Blake, out in the Alto cart barn, keeping things running. Jay Marufo, he's the Alto cook, and he's been most recently promoted to the lead PM line cook, so he's probably sleeping after last night's event. Pima Navarro, our housekeeping. Pima. Brandon Engel, we all know Brandon, he's a server in Alto. And then we have Jimmy Deering and Mike Metcalf out in the grounds. Are they here today? No? They're out they're out cleaning up after the horses probably. So with 15 years, we have Liliana Pinion, our housekeeping lead. Thank you very much. Our longest tenured staff member with 25 years of service from our golf shop and Alto Pro Shop supervisor, Elizabeth Schleck. So I'm just going to highlight a couple things from all the various departments for you all to know what's gone on for the last year, and there's some tidbits and hints on what we're going to be planning for the future year coming up. So the Alto Clubhouse and Outlaw and Cocopelli. Alto has had a bit of a challenging year with the numerous management challenges in food and beverage, and most recently the loss of a clubhouse manager. There seems to be some stability occurring. Craig Maldonado has assumed the role of clubhouse manager. Jerry Moritz is our dining room manager, and the team is really addressing service and training. The major work of new paint and carpet was completed in May. There was a lot of deferred maintenance in the kitchen that was addressed as well. We are currently looking for a catering manager to replace Sherry, as she has transitioned into the kitchen, or soon to be the Alto Lakes pastry chef. So until we find a replacement, we've hired a temporary manager to step in for the summer. Cocopelli also has had a challenging season. We had to close for 6 weeks in order to repair the fire suppression system and replace the kitchen exhaust hoods. Outlaw had a good season and will continue to do so this summer. Frank Gonzalez and his Chef Aston are doing a tremendous job. Chef Aston is one of the H2Bs that we were sponsoring with his green card. His excellent performance and dedication to Outlaw is a true asset to the operation. So keep it up, managers, please. The Pool and Fitness Center has seen improvements from last year to this year by enhancing the members' enjoyment of the pool. The pool deck is freshly painted. The pool pumps are working properly, with one being replaced entirely. The new bar is being well received by the members, and our revenues are up from last year. Private parties are seeing an increase over last year, and we expect that trend to stay. So the pool should be very, very successful here. The finance and maintenance operation last season, there was an incredible amount of repairs and maintenance work done at all 4 locations: Alto, La Junta, Cocopelli, and Outlaw. We had over 187 major repairs and work orders completed. That's not to mention all the work done without the work orders. There have been some staffing changes by adding a part-time worker and a full-time addition worker. Since March, the focus is on reorganizing the shops in the yard, clearing out the storage facilities, which you probably have noticed it's getting a lot clearer out there, especially by the tee boxes. Major repairs last season would be the fixing of our fire suppression system, sealing the pool deck, repairing the Alto roof, and redoing of all the Alto dining room floors, carpets, walls, and ceilings. In addition, we painted the inside and outside of Outlaw, added handicap doors, and rebuilt the floor drainage for the Outlaw Pro Shop. So maintenance has been pretty busy. Thank you, Bobby. Golf operations. Golf operations saw a profitable merchandise year with continuing to bringing in the new lines as well as staying the course with the good ones. They're concentrating on providing a positive experience to the membership by being more visible and available in daily operations. This was the second year of not having H2Bs in golf, and we've had success in finding local help from the high schools. So it's a pretty good move in that direction. As a matter of fact, we have 11 El Capitan high school students working for us now, which is up from last year. Sure. There are 4 people, well, 3 is one done now, but there are 4 people in the golf operations that are applying for their PGA certification. So you're going to have a pretty in-depth, strong bench in the golf department. Each course has an aspiring, I just did that. Future project challenges would include improving and revamping of our Alto situation, challenge and limit to the members due to the space issues. Challenges for staff to keep up with the expense of range balls, the unknown solution of how to proceed to make it better, and possibly looking into a simulator project for additional revenue and enjoyment. So I guess we have to really fix that driving range somehow. We're going to look at possibly putting in a long-range plan some restrooms at Cocopelli. Glenn is constantly dealing with the horses. One of the statistics we have is it takes Glenn 3 employees just to take care of the horse problem, cleaning up and fixing the greens and fixing the tee boxes and all that. So, and when we pressed him, I said, "Be careful what you say because we might get rid of the horses and you're going to have to give up 3 employees." So it was fun. The greens, speaking of Glenn, he had a tough year. Recovery efforts from the winter desiccation and the 24-25 continued through operations of today. Multiple areas were seeded multiple times, and other areas were replaced and roped off. Much more fertilizer and seed is being used compared to the past to help improvements. Our dry continues are continuing through the year. The tree health is an issue. It's ongoing. Try to find a forecast of how much we're going to have to spend on the trees. It's not easy because they're just continually to die. So we'll have a better projection of the cost of that over the next 3 years coming shortly. The upcoming year will be upgrading staffing responsibilities to improve detail and play conditions. He's doing more hands-on training and edging and making the conditions for play much better now. He's focusing with the staff to get that done. Our member services and administration. Last year saw a significant disruption in the office, services, and management. With the turnover in the accounting department and multiple controllers, the general manager turnovers and staffing changes, it looks like there's some long-range stability in that department now as well. Abby Navarez, I'd like to thank, played a major role in holding the ship together while also transitioning 5 new employees. Some of the things we did to make it easier, we went paperless with the monthly statements. We created an ACC administrator to better assist the members with permits, and she was very, very hands-on at building the budget for this year, which I think it was the first time, Abby, really? Yeah. So thank you, Abby, for your hard work. This is a very small list of the goals and future that we're working on, that I'm currently working on. We will be focusing heavily on the food and beverage service standards and food quality. This would be done by the creation of written SOPs, improved training, and communications with staff and leadership. Additionally, we have brought in a highly skilled chef de cuisine for the summer to assist on the training of the line staff in all our restaurants, and assuming we're bringing new and innovative culinary ideas. So that's for you, chef, right? How do you like it? There you go. We are currently in negotiation with all of our major food and beverage vendors to create unilateral standards of products to use in all our dining rooms and bars, giving us improved buying power to leverage for better consistency, costs, and rebates. I know Jasper's a big fan of that one. What it means is all your outlets buy different stuff. There's 11 wells, let's say, in the bar. Well, all bars have a different vodka in the well. So if I put one vodka in the well that's the same, I can buy 24 cases of vodka in a month, and I'll be able to command and demand rebates or special other incentive buying problems. Right now, we don't have the ability to do that. Same thing's occurring in the kitchen. Every outlet uses a different chicken. Every outlet uses a different French fry. By consolidating these things and having a better and a higher quality item, we're going to be able to negotiate with our purveyors better prices and better rebates, saving you money in the long run. So, come out. This season, we are working to put in place a reserve and capital plan. Work is already in motion to analyze our revenues and assist replacement needs to better see into the future our financial obligations. We've already contracted, as Tom mentioned earlier, with Club Benchmarking to assist with this and manage the process. What this will do is give us a 5, a 10, 15, all the way up to 30-year look at what it's going to cost to maintain this club, what it's going to cost to repair or replace in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. And then put in there any sort of capital wish list, we call it, that additional purchases of something that we don't have. We can actually map that out now and be able to come up with a funding plan instead of every year sitting down and coming up with some arbitrary list of what we need to replace or fix. So this will be an excellent plan for the Finance Committee and the Board of Directors to manage your money and to make sure that we have what it takes to take care of this club in top condition. We are creating standard operating procedures in all the departments. That has started my second week, I believe I was here, to make sure that year after year after year, the employees are doing the same job the same way, the way they're expected to do it, and management. So, a communication plan is being created to more effectively get information out to the membership. One example to start is the every Friday GM letter that goes out every Friday at 9 a.m. We're planning on the same type of letter from golf, greens, food and beverage, and events, instead of a big blast that it's so big that nobody wants to read it. This will be, my golf comes out on this day, my food and beverage events comes out at this day. So look for that shortly, within the next couple weeks. We're working on redoing of the website to make it more usable, friendly, attractive, and effective. And the finance and the accounting department is already working on improving all financial documentation, presentations, and improving the use of our Jonas system, as you will see in the final slides to come. And then emphasis is being placed on moving more to a cloud-based operating system, and that'll save us money on servers and time and make it more effective. That's a small list of the things that we're putting in place. But last but not least, there's one more thing I'd like to address. This year, we have enhanced our employee appreciation process. Every month, all the department directors and managers nominate an outstanding employee to be selected as the Employee of the Month. The team all meet to discuss each candidate and then vote for the monthly winner. At the end of the season, out of all the winners, the management team will discuss and select who will be Alto Lakes Golf and Country Club Employee of the Year. So, Mr. President, if you would give me the honor to join me on stage at this time and help me present the plaque and check to this year's recipient. This year's Employee of the Year has worked at Alto Lakes Golf and Country Club in our housekeeping department for 15 years. She has proven to be an integral part of this team, steadfast, dependable, and is someone who keeps things running smoothly behind the scenes. She takes great pride in her work, and her cheerful, always smiling presence lifts everybody up around. So to the membership, it's my pleasure to recognize Liliana Pinion. Thank you, Liliana. Let me also say that Liliana became a U.S. citizen in 2016, and she's very proud of that accomplishment. Liliana came to Ruidoso 31 years ago. Working at Alto has allowed Liliana to help her 3 children attend and graduate college. Well done. So, that's it. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Brian. The next on our agenda is the financial summary. And so Gary McIntosh, who is the chair of the Finance Commission, will be first up to talk.
Thank you, Tom. First, I'd like to start off by telling you that the Finance and Audit Advisory Commission at Alto Lakes, I feel we have a very strong group of people who are very dedicated to the mission and what needs to happen for the future financially. And I want to recognize them to start with. Dewey Bryant, Suzanne Kirby, I don't think Suzanne was able to make it today. Scott Anderson, Randy Gray, and Steve Heileman, and I know Steve and Sharon are out for a funeral. And then Terry Schaefer is the board liaison as the treasurer. As you can see up here, we set out with some goals this year because of the financial condition that we dealt with, that we've been dealing with. We set out with goals. We set those goals early and have worked hard to improve on everything step by step. We made recommendations to establish operating and financial guidelines, establishing key metrics to rebuild club reserves and make LGCC more solid. Those processes continue every month. We're continuing to work through those. We've had good input and a lot of solid interest in trying to make sure that those metrics are put in place and controlled for the future, so that they aren't metrics that, well, this is the metric for this month and it's going to change next month. We're trying to get metrics in place so that we have a solid financial future for this club. We issued an RFP, or request for proposal, for audit and tax services, including the firm that we had before. We sent it out to multiple clubs. We talked to them. We had proposals from some of them come back that they wanted to be our provider. We made a recommendation to the board that we hire Condon, O'Meara, McGinty, and Donnelly. They are a firm that works with clubs nationwide. They have over 400 clubs that they work with. And one of the things that they do is provide statistical analysis of our club compared to other clubs of our size, other clubs nationwide, on expenses, on revenues, on various types of programs, on capital investment, all of those kinds of things. They will be coming to meet with the board and the Finance Commission in July to specifically go through all the details and what they see with our club compared to other clubs. And you're going to see some results of that audit in a few minutes. As I said, over 400 clubs that they represent nationwide. So they are somebody that we can depend on, that they understand the industry that we're dealing with. We worked with our interim controller, and I want to add to what Brian said. Abby did a phenomenal job for us, thrown into a situation where she didn't have the experience, but she took it on and did an outstanding job, and she and all the office staff worked very hard to make sure every month that we had our financial information together, that they could deal with the issues. And I know it was there were lots of things going on, but again, kudos to Abby and to all the office staff, membership, everything, in trying to keep financially this place secure. We worked with the club treasurer, Terry, to help restructure the debt of ALGC and to ensure better financial stability going forward. And I also want to thank Dewey Bryant, because Dewey's banking experience and all helped all of us, both from the Finance Commission and on the board, understand what it takes financially for us to stay stable going forward. If you remember, and we'll talk about this later, last year there was a statement in our audit report about going concern as to whether we had the ability financially to be stable going forward and to exist, in effect. You'll see on the audit that's been removed because we were able to restructure the debt into a position that's financially secure. And that took a lot of work and a lot of negotiations with the bank, but our bank worked with us, and I think we're in really good shape in that arena. We worked to interview candidates for full-time controller position, and we eventually recommended the hiring of our new controller, Waleed Jamal. You've met him. Waleed has tremendous experience, and the impact he is already having working with Brian and Abby and finance and the board, the impact is very solid, and I feel very secure that we have somebody who really understands the needs of what of this organization going forward, and not only on the financial side, but on the security side and the IT side, all of those things he will be able to give us solid impact and solid advice on as we go along. So the board will have a much stronger ability as it goes forward to make decisions. So next is the audit opinion. Our audit opinion is a clean opinion, indicating that financial statements are fairly stated in all material respects in accordance with GAAP. It was performed following the U.S. auditing standards, ensuring thorough review of the transactions and controls. And this was very important, there were no material weaknesses in the internal controls or evidence of material fraud identified during the audit. There's been all kinds of thoughts about those kinds of issues in the past. But for the audit year, the year ended March 31st, they identified no material weaknesses and no evidence of fraud in anything that they were able to examine. I think that's very important. That we know that if there had been that situation in the past, it's been cleared up. We have a solid group doing the work now, and we are comfortable. And I can tell you in my discussions with the auditors, I feel very comfortable because we had to make them aware of those allegations that had been made in the past, and we made sure that they were paying attention and looking specifically for any evidence. Thank you. The cash position increased to $2.9 million, reflecting stronger liquidity, financial flexibility compared to the previous year. The debt restructure and the dues helped accomplish that. The cash allocation of approximately $2 million is operating cash, $850,000 designated for capital expenditures. And the new budget follows those allocations. Our strong cash position supports meeting our obligations, funding operations, investing in future projects. The current budget indicates a positive cash flow from operations in excess of $1 million if the estimates are coming to fruition. We'll see how that goes through this year, but we feel that work is much more solid now, and our cash flow is better protected, and with the controls that we have in place now, we feel comfortable that we're going to know if there are variations in that Waleed and his team are now so on top of that we know it week to week as to what's going on. Upward cash trend demonstrates effective management and operational discipline, enhancing club stability. All of those comments about cash flow come from the auditors, not from me. Those are the auditors' comments about where we stand, and they are seeing the possibilities of that, and I think that's very important that they can make those comments now, knowing some of what was going on, what happened cash flow wise in recent years. And I wanted to just point this out that, as I said, the auditors, COMD, is going to come meet with finance and the board later in July, and we're going to go over all these indicators. But I thought this one, I wanted to just point this out. This is something that they pointed out to us. The industry benchmark for payroll and related expenditures for a club our size is 56.2% of the expenses are payroll, non-capital expenditures. Ours were at 46.3%. And I know there's a lot of thought that was thrown out in recent years that our payroll was extremely high. But compared to other clubs our size, our payroll is not extremely high. And that one surprised me because of I had heard all of this. So I wanted to just point that out. We will be able to give the membership and management better information after we've sat down with the auditors and gone through that in more detail. But I thought that was something that was a significant enough benchmark that I wanted to call that to your attention. Our treasurer, Terry Schaefer, now is going to give you some additional financial information that we put together for you.
Good morning. Oh wow, the slide's already up. Okay, I'm late already. What we wanted to do is just take some basic stats that from time to time everybody says, well, we got this amount of members, we got that amount of members. In reality, these are the facts. It's not feelings. It's not, well, I think I know, or, these are actual facts. So this one may be hard for you to see, but the two bigger screens will show. The pie chart on the left is the actual number of memberships. That's a property, either a house and or a lot. There's 2,268, and you can see the composition. The vast majority of that's covered in golf at 1,936, social 316, and we still have, for those who've been around since the dinosaur days, we still have 16 Desperado memberships that are still in place. But when you take the spouse, significant other, who lives with you per the bylaws and everything, that number actually is 4,456. And I think that's important for everybody to understand that at any one given time, that amount of members could be sitting here, sitting at Kokopelli, sitting at Outlaw, or dispersed all over the club and the courses. So it's really hard to manage a business with that amount of people with the expectations that we expect. So to Gary's point about the payroll and everything, there's a little upside opportunity for us to give better membership services based on that number. Next slide. We just wanted to give you a quick overview. Everybody that lives here full-time knows it's very seasonal. We are in a position during the winter where you can hear crickets chirp, and we have to adjust our payroll accordingly. But this is at the end or first? The end of every quarter. You can see April through June, the first quarter, with the part-time, full-time, H-2B staff, and our seasonal employees, 235 employees on payroll. Ramp up for the second quarter, which is the busiest, July, August, September, and half of June are our 3.5 biggest months. If we don't make bank during that time, we lose money for the whole year. So approximately 50-60% of our income in those 3 months. So come use the club the next 3 months. So you see it bumps up to 251. Third quarter, we start to ramp down. A lot of the H-2Bs start to leave, so you can see it gets down to about 200. And then during the winter months, that's grounds, crew, staff, kitchen, everybody, we're down to about 142. And that's a typical year-over-year trend. So, next slide. This is a concept that club benchmarking, which we'll see later on, finance, I think Gary mentioned the finance and long-range planning will be intimately involved once we get the capital study. But for me, last year and the year before, when I'm saying, what the heck did you do with my dues? This is kind of a graphic depiction of where our dues actually goes. This is the revenue side. Most of our dues, or the income is 58% of it comes from our dues. But we have ancillary income that feeds into our total revenue. You can see food and beverage, golf operations, and then other income, very low. I mean, permits and just miscellaneous things. But the two lion's share of food and beverage and the membership dues, that's where the revenue comes in. What about where it goes out? Should be the next slide. No. Food and beverage year over year, you can see the solid blue line is this past year's financial performance. The gray line was the year before. So in all three major categories of food and beverage, golf operations, and other income, the trend is up. That's a good thing. That means we're getting more member participation. The year before that was the fire. Obviously, if we had looked at that graph, the bar graph would probably be off the page. But we're heading in the right direction. Probably not as fast as we all would like, but we are headed in the right direction. And here's where your income, your dues money went. Most people think that it goes to golf, and golf is a significant contributing factor, but it's almost close. The golf is 29%, food and beverage 31%. Your G&A, which is general and administrative, that's fixed overhead costs, salaries, anything at the mothership, so to speak, that covers most of the G&A. CH is clubhouse, recreational, which would include pool and fitness, pickleball, tennis, and then capital projects, which very low percentage for the size of our club at 8%. Part of that is we don't have any reserves. So Gary and the audits, they found out that we're doing things right, but we don't have enough reserves built up yet. We need to formalize a plan how to move forward for future. So, next slide. A lot of people asked about the payroll. Again, there seems to be, we got too many staff or we don't have enough, but this is kind of just the breakout. And all of this, by the way, is going to be posted on the website so you can go back and get it. You don't have to be taking notes. I don't see anybody taking notes. So, but yeah, food and beverage accounted for 40%, golf 36, other 1, pool 2, house 8, and G&A again is 13%. That's what your dues money spent. Waleed suggested that we put up this slide, and Abby, they worked together, kind of just wanted to basically, give you a graphic of April 1st is the beginning of our fiscal year. Even before one member walks in the door, these are fixed costs that we have no control over. No matter how you manage it, the irrigation has averaged that for years at this club on what we put on the golf courses. Property and casualty now, our property and casualty, you can see is a big number, medical and dental. Just the medical and dental and the property and casualty are $1.2 million, even before we spend 1 nickel on the golf course. So, and if you count, somebody had the forest thinning, and we've already spent over almost $150,000 on forest. And if Doug Allen's in the room, I saw him someplace, he's got a request for probably another $200,000. We have to take out the dead and diseased and dying trees. So, if you add that in there, that number is over $2 million a year. Even before we step in the door. It's a mind-boggling number, but we're a big club. So. Next slide. This just kind of reinforces the cycles of food and beverage during the season. The far left is starting right out of the gate in April. April's a terrible month. April and May are terrible for the club. It's budgeted to lose money. For those of you that pay attention to the financials, we're not yet above the line. When you see the June financials, we finally break even. And then as you can see, June, July, and August, September, pretty active. But that's just the peaks and valleys of the seasonality. Next slide. Wanted also, so for all the golfers in the room, we average, this does not include tournament play, but excluding tournament play and play days, had 47, almost 48,000 rounds of golf in between all 3 courses last year. It was interesting to me when I see that, we all talk with friends, and you seem like they play 6 days a week, like the Donnie Archbalds and those guys. You always see him out on well, he's sitting right here so I can see him. But the average number of rounds per member, when you take of the people that actually played, is only 25 rounds apiece. That's very low. Then we have a lot of people that play a heck of a lot more than that. And active players, the people that at least book at least 1 tee time throughout the course of years, 2,200, which coincides with what our membership is. But I thought the 25 sounds pretty low. Next slide. And, so speaking of those abusers or users of the course, we wanted to recognize the people that have used our courses the most. And if you're in the room, just wave a hand. Ken Valdez came in at number 5. Is Ken in the room? No? He's playing golf. That's right, yeah. That's a good one. David Wood with 195 rounds. I thought I saw David here somewhere. No? Okay. Brittany Allen, a woman, made the top 5. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Yeah. And I had the opportunity the other day to play in a play day with Paul Vescovo, and I always see his name on the tee sheet and everything, so I was giving him a little grief. But Paul, if you're in the room, 202 rounds. And then at the very top, Mr. Doug Jones at 208 rounds. So, congrats. All those in favor of charging them more because they're using the course more? Yeah. All right, good. Next. Oh, that's it. I also wanted to reiterate what Gary and Mr. Fox and Brian said. I could not have been as successful this year helping in finance without the Finance Commission led by Gary McIntosh. And then the staff was phenomenal. And special thanks to Miss Abby. So I just want to say thanks. Appreciate it. I think it's Mr. Fox, back to you. Yep.
Thank you, Terry and Gary. That was a good presentation of our financial situation this year. We're going to do a little something a little bit different on commissions. Instead of having the commission chair come up, we're going to have the board liaison present the commissions. And I asked them to be very brief in doing this, so we wouldn't bore you with too long a time. So the first commission that we have, and these commissions are very, very important to our club. The people that work on them work just as hard as anybody here in trying to ensure that our club operations are good and that our commissions function properly. So the first is the Scholarship Commission. Anybody that's on the Scholarship Commission that's here, would you please stand? I have one over here. Okay, so Jill Duncan, excuse me, I have to get my glasses. Blind as a bat. Jill Duncan and her crew have done a fabulous job again, raising money to help support our current and future employees, striving to improve themselves through higher education. The Scholarship Commission's next fundraiser is Denim and Diamonds on July 25th. Please make plans to attend. Last year, they awarded over $130,000 in scholarships and have distributed over $1.15 million in scholarships since 2001. It's an outstanding job done by an outstanding group of people. Thank you to all the commission members. Next will be our ACC commission.
Okay, my name's Gary Bills. I am the board liaison to the Architectural Control Commission. Our job, basically, we're tasked with ensuring that construction, remodeling, any additions or things on construction within the Unified Covenant areas meets standards, working with the Zoning Commission and with RIADOSA. And I'm going to go through the list. If you would stand up, and our chairman is Donnie Archibald. We have Kingsbury Auto, way back over here. Paul Jones. I know Paul, there he is. Terry Porter. Terry is going off the commission. He is retiring. Ken Wall. Ken. Jimmy Mace. Jimmy is also going off the commission. He is retiring also. So we got openings. If anybody is interested, please get a hold of Donnie. It's actually fun. Doug Allen. Doug. There he is. That's our fire. Doug is our Firewise guy, and he's also the one who is going around making sure that our trees are healthy and the ones that are not are gone. Stephen Seiss. Stephen, you in here? Stephen is a very unique guy. He's a great guy, and he really helps us out a lot, and he coordinates all the permits and everything for all the contractors, and I'm the board liaison. Next slide, please. Okay, our accomplishments over the last year, 176 permits were issued, of which 60 were over-the-desk permits. That means they don't have to go before the commission, but they can be issued by Stephen over the desk. Simple things, redecks, things like that. Goal is to simplify the process of obtaining permits. We conducted a review of all permits to update all accounts and to ensure deposits are returned. Donnie has done a great job in trying to consolidate things and streamline the process quite a bit so that we don't have too many overlaps or anything, and that we also work with zoning to make sure that we're kind of all working in the same direction. We implemented proactive notification system to prevent red tag issues due to lapsed permits. You get a permit, you forget about it. So we've started notifying you so that we can get the permits taken care of. Is there another slide? I'm done. Thank y'all. Thanks, Donnie.
Hi, my name is Stanley Mathis, and I'm the board liaison to the Golf and Greens Commission. The first thing I'd like to do is say that this commission has been great this year. They've brought us a lot of different projects. Due to our financial constraints of the club, we haven't been able to do a lot of the things that they want us to do. We certainly hope that that changes going forward, but we have been able to do some very significant things. First, I'd like to recognize the members of the commission. Jeff Ford is the chairman. Is he around? Didn't think I saw Jeff. Joy Hill. Joy. Of course, it's, Brittany has to be on Golf and Greens. Brittany, Amy Fox, Ryan Kimbrell. Oh, there he is in the very back. Mike Stanton. I haven't seen Mike. Steve Shula. I know I saw Steve. Robert Donaldson. He's playing golf. Yeah, most of these guys are probably playing golf. Bruce Ripko. Everybody on Golf and Greens is playing golf. And then I'm the board liaison. Next slide, please. Some of the accomplishments of the year, I don't know if y'all have seen it, but we leveled and sodded the tee box on Alto 12, 11, 12, and 17. And actually, they did a bunch of work on 16, changed some of the configuration and fixed those as well. A shout out to the Alto Men's Golf Association because they funded much of the sod that was used. The board tasked the Golf and Greens Commission to come up with a golf course violation policy, just basically rules of being a good person. We also did some stuff to protect the golf courses. I know some of these aren't very popular, but keeping cart paths off the course, particularly during some of the winter months when there's very few of us up here, it really makes a difference going forward. We went to play days where they were all on one day. One of the biggest issues that we got was people saying that, we took the courses up all week long. Now all the play days are on Wednesday. Been new tee markers at Alto, which I think are kind of cute, and then yardage markers at Cocopelli. And then we also consolidated some of the water stations, losing an awful lot of water to people just driving by and pick it up. Hopefully going forward, we can give them some more money to do some more things. We'll see. Thank you very much.
So I'm Elaine Wedgeworth, and I'm the liaison to the Pickleball Tennis Commission, and I believe you all are sitting somewhere over here. Would you all please stand, and I'll introduce those of you that are here. Our commission chairman is Stephen Morris, who has been our chairman for several years. He's retiring this year. This pickleball commission, tennis commission, represents about 300 players in our club, and I always like to point out that we have 0 employees devoted to handle our court activities. So this commission works hard about scheduling tournaments and play days. They offer free lessons. They do a lot because we don't have a pro on staff. So I really want to appreciate this group of people. Stephen Morris is the chairperson. Cindy Stowe was the former liaison when she was on the board last year, and she's been a really contributing to our commission. Molly Rogers has probably been on the commission longer than any of them, and she provides a lot of continuity to our commission. And then Kit Jordan is our secretary, not only for the tennis commission, but tennis group, but also for this commission. And some of the things they've accomplished this year, thank you very much. If you all have children or grandchildren visiting next week, they offer free lessons for your children. I think it's the July 2nd for the first racket, and then July 3rd for the first paddle. And you can sign them up in the office or online. They've also added a seating area. Because pickleball has grown so much, they needed more seating area, so they added that on the lower pickleball courts. Alto was generous and donated money for a sidewalk so that it's more accessible. It was gravel, so that way people can access the Outlaw Pavilion and the restrooms there easier. And Alto, which is the Pickleball Association, used their own membership dues to purchase chairs, nets, and court drying equipment for the courts. Because money wasn't available elsewhere, they went ahead and devoted their own money to those projects. And probably the biggest capital project we have coming up is we've contracted to have some shade covers on the upper courts so that when we have an overflow of players waiting to get on the courts, they're not burning up in the sun. And I guess, you noticed how warm it was this week. Anyway, thank you all.
Hello. So I get to talk about a couple different commissions here, but long-range planning, first off, if I can have anybody that's in long-range stand up, please. So we have Clay Harris, the chair, Joe Brandhuber, the secretary, Chris Bellows, Gene Hammonds, Chris Stokes, Steve Shula, Craig Cathy, Ken Wall, Charlie Barron, Robert Donaldson, Deborah Harris, Gary McIntosh, and myself as the liaison. Long-range planning, I would say, this year has been waiting actively to get involved. For us, as we had budgets and things that needed to balance and get fixed and some bigger coffers that need to get restored, we have a wish list that is building and a lot of wonderful people that are actively waiting to start a bigger strategy. So far, they completed a capital project list that's submitted to the board, and they also have a golf course irrigation study included in the 26-25 approved or 27 approved budget. So this is a wonderful one that I'm excited to see get it functioning and moving more actively once we have given the green light of the dollars that can come back into the coffers. As you all know, we had a different dollar outlook a year ago, so this is one I'm excited to see performing more, and a lot of wonderful people dedicating their different ideas and thoughts and opinions and expertise in helping the club. You also see this is one that gets a nominee from other commissions on it too, so it's a very large group, or can be at times. So next slide, please. And then the second one for me is interesting as well, because we went from the House Advisory Committee to a commission. So we had an ad hoc committee that was supposed to be tailored to Sharon, was the first chair of it, and kind of tailored to helping find this continuity that Brian spoke about earlier as far as our club goes and as far as our clubhouses go and food and beverage operations specifically. I think as you guys saw from the slide, there's a lot of opportunity in food and beverage. There's a lot of continuity that can be had. There's a lot of leverage that we can gain by having a bigger strategic plan. And this is something that had been recommended by various different members and people that were hoping to get it moving and forming. And so after the committee's success, it became a commission. So it's something you'll see regularly. I'm excited about this commission as well, because you have a lot of people in this that are restaurateurs, that have food and beverage experience, that have seen the bigger picture and can help focus our team members on what happens here locally, the seasonality, and the various different opportunities. So with that, if I have anybody from the House Advisory Commission in, can you please stand today? I know I saw a few of you here. Maybe they snuck out to go taste menus or play golf. But we have Elliot Taylor's the chair, Nanada Huffman's the secretary, Ray Griego, Scott Plowman, Steve Shula, Matt Pursley, Ken Kohler, myself, and then Sharon was our former liaison. So with that, I hope you all will see in the next year some new menus designed, some new culinary opportunities coming out, as Brian spoke on, some leverage that we can apply to different vendors. And our big hope and goal is that you're going to see a better cohesive club in all the outlets coming out across the board. As we've had our challenges and our changes, this was one that was just formed 2 months ago, so it's just now getting started. Some of the things they've worked on already were streamlining the menus. They've looked at reducing just the automatic gratuity. There was a big member suggestion that was coming over just on to-go orders. And then there was a lot of inconsistencies and problems being caused by to-go boxes at buffets. So if you would have 200 people for a buffet and then everybody takes it, now all of a sudden 400 are at the buffet and the people that show up at 10 o'clock don't get food. And so little changes like that just help your member satisfaction across the board. And so these are the little tasks they've been tasked with, and it's going to continue to grow. So those are the two I have. Thank you.
Last but not least, the Alto Lakes Projects Outreach. Alpoa, everybody knows who Alpoa is, and I'm not going to be like Glenn Perry and stand up here forever. So everybody that's a member of this, stand up, please, which should be about half this audience. These people do a great job and have done wonderful things for the whole club. Next slide. Alpoa raises money through a lot of different things, but they do it mostly through Fireball, and they've raised a lot of money on Fireball, thanks to Glenn Perry and his wonderful speeches. But if you go out into the club, you see things they've done all the time. So give them a hand right now. Now I'm going to go off script because nobody knows I'm going to do this. Tom Fox has been our president for 2 years. He has sweated bullets and blood and tears, and nobody's done a better job as president than Tom Fox, my friend.
Okay, now I'm blushing, but thank y'all very much. We had some questions submitted by some members to the board and for commissions to address. I think there was 6 of them. And the first one that was sent was asked why social dues were raised as much as golfer dues last year. I went through that last year enough. I don't need to go through it again. The membership passed that vote. So anyway, the next one we had came from Diana Gibbs. I hope she doesn't mind me using her name. She was asking about the membership audit. I'm going to let Elaine explain that.
She was asking how many accounts weren't properly handled when they were originally processed. And I think we identified about 17 accounts where there were caregivers, which we have no problem with people helping our members in their household. But they were given membership cards, which meant they were playing golf and using our facilities when that wasn't actually appropriate. So we now have issued new caregiver cards so that they can help the individual member, but it's clear to someone checking them in at the golf course that they would have to pay a guest fee instead of playing like an actual member would be. We also had about 24 accounts that were assigned to people as a redesignation, even though they did not own property. Our bylaws require that you own property in order to be a member at Alto. So those were all resolved. I think there is one last account that has until June 30th to get their paperwork together. But it was a big job that the staff did. We did a lot of training to be sure everyone understood what is a member-to-member transfer, what is a appropriate redesignation. And the end result of all of this is just to ensure that we are collecting the proper transfer and initiation fees. The difference between a $2,500 redesignation fee and a $25,000 transfer and initiation fee is significant, and those are the funds that we use to build our capital reserves. So if they were not done correctly, we were losing out on a substantial amount of money. So that was the project, and I hope that answers Diana's question.
Thank you, Elaine. We had a member ask a question about seasonal operations, and I'll let Brian Cox answer that one.
Is that in conjunction with the cart path? Yes. Okay. Yeah, the question was whether we were planning on doing cart path only next season, and whether we were going to turn this into a seasonal club and close 2 of the clubhouses for the winter months. And we don't know at this time. To answer the golf cart path, that's based on weather, and it's based on the availability of water to water the golf course. So we don't know what the decision will be next year. As far as closing the clubhouses, that decision will have to be looked at from a financial basis in the future. So to answer it clearly, there's no plan whatsoever to answer both of those questions or to make a decision. You're welcome.
Okay. I had a question about Kokopelli water rights. What are we doing to get them over to Alto or Outlaw? And as I said, we will be applying for a permit to change place of use of Kokopelli water to where we can put it in Outlaw irrigation system or Alto irrigation system or Kokopelli's irrigation system. So if we can get that approved, that will help us move water around as needed. I had a member ask also, what is the status of La Junta? Is it for sale? It's not for sale right now, but I'm sure it could be for sale. But we have to determine H2B usage and needs for the future before we can get rid of our housing that we would house them in. But we do use La Junta for other things. In fact, Waleed is staying out there now at La Junta. So we've had several people, managers, come through and stay out at La Junta. Also, a question is Alto Lakes Water and Sanitation District going to bring Kokopelli potable water system up to code and expand for new development there? And if they do, will the Cocoa residents participate or pay for that? I can't answer that. That is a water district. We do not control the water district in any way, so that is up to them. I had another one on explaining the 5-year average of a water usage cycle. We pump our water wells, especially down at Outlaw, and we had to report that volume to the state engineer's office every month. We are given a set allotment of acre feet of water that we can pump, and so they monitor it on a 5-year cycle. If you're over that usage, after 5 years, you will be fined and penalized, and some water rights could be taken away from you. If you're under, they may adjust your usage to where you can use more the next 5 years. But it's every 5 years, and that cycle will restart November 1st. So we'll find out then. We had a question on the pine beetles. You know, what is the club doing to treat the trees to keep the pine beetles from doing that? And we're doing everything we can. Those little suckers really did damage to a lot of trees this year. Not just here, all over the state of New Mexico. And I read an article that stated it was almost 200% higher this year than previous years, so, or this past year, so it was quite damaging. So I think that answers most of the questions that people sent in. Anybody have any other questions they want to ask while I'm up here? Good. You know, I've answered in the last 2 years thousands of emails. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and give my closing statements. And there are so many people that I need to thank for their support and hard work for the past 12 to 24 months. If you read the avalanche, I already thanked our tremendous office staff. Please give them another round of applause. They are awesome. I would like to personally thank Bobby Luster. He has fixed, built, replaced, repaired, painted everything in this clubhouse. He has done an amazing job, and he oversaw the roof replacement here, the vent replacement at Kokopelli. He's done an amazing job as our maintenance manager. And there are a few members that I want to thank that have done a good job for me and for the board and for this club. They're all good friends of mine. First off is Doug Allen. Doug and I have talked many times about the properties, where they need cleaning, who needs to get notified and stuff, and he's done an amazing job and has worked with so many members getting their lots cleaned up, and it's so obvious that our community looks so much better thanks to his efforts. Thank you, Doug. I want to thank all the Golf Association boards, the men, the women, the nine-holers. Those boards do an amazing job putting together the tournaments that we have at our club throughout the year. And I want to give them a special thanks for their hard work. Another member is Jeff Hasty. Jeff, would you stand up? Oh, he don't want to stand. But Jeff is the man that goes out and reads the water meters every month at Outlaw and reports them to the state engineer's office. There was some confusion on the numbers and things, and Jeff squared them away on what he actually reported. So, Jeff, thank you so much for what you've done. Another person I'd like to thank, and I hope the next board continue to have a good relationship with, is Dan Knorr. Dan, I saw you earlier. Are you still here? Dan is the president of the Alto Lakes Water and Sanitation District, and he helped facilitate the meeting with the state engineer that got the ball rolling to get us to where we can get our water rights in a much better position. Thank you, Dan. I don't want to take any credit for any of the accomplishments that we have made while I've been president. We are a board, and I am only one person on that board. They are the ones that deserve the credit. I have the utmost faith that they will continue to do what is best for our club. With that being said, I have some appreciation plaques that I would like to present. The first is to Sharon Heilman. I've already given it to her. I gave it to her before she left due to the death of the family. The second one is to Stan Mathis, my vice president and right-hand man. Even though he's a T-SIP and I'm an Aggie, and they beat us the last 2 years in football, we still get along pretty well. Stan? Appreciate it. Wait, good picture.
Act like you like me.
Take my glasses off. Thank you. For the last one, I'd like to call my wife, Amy, to present it.
I'm a little shorter. I am proud to present this gavel to my husband of almost 40 years. Through many sleepless nights, many great supporters, and some very loud negative members, he always did what he thought was best for this club. It is with great honor that I present this gift of appreciation and ready to get back to our retirement with family and friends once again. Thank you.
This is the envelope. Okay, before I announce the winners of the board election, she lowered this on me. I would like to thank all 8 candidates for their willingness to volunteer for our club. It is a tremendous job, a lot of hard work, and I thank them all for the willingness to do that. I want to thank the selection committee, and I also want to thank the ballot counters. And I really want to thank Elaine Wedgeworth, who oversaw all this operations. Thank you, Elaine. These are in no particular order, but the 3 people that were voted to be on the board are Dave Ballard, Dean Fowler, and Ryan Kimbrell. So the new board members will meet in the Spencer Room immediately after we adjourn. I want to thank all of you for your attendance, and may God bless Alto and the United States. Thank you. I will take a motion to adjourn. I need a second. All in favor? Aye. Thank you all so very much.